G'day viewers, we are at the grand final of this Game Night Kit tournament in the Gold Coast at Good Games. We've got Andrew in the grand final versus Josh. Josh has got his Leela deck, Andrew's got his HB deck. I'm actually joined by Andrew. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me. Good to be here. So we're looking at the first round of the grand finals. So I was undefeated, as we saw in the previous two games. So I've got 2 games up my sleeve, and Josh has done the hard work of fighting his way back up through the losers bracket, knocking over some amazing opponents in the process, and bringing his awesome decks back for another rematch with me. We've had some classic contests now through the whole tournament season. You know, all of the store champs had some incredible games. So I wouldn't put any money on either player at the moment to win, but you know, we're fairly evenly matched.
So you're mulliganing?
Yep, so I had a bit of a horror hand there. I think it was like 3 agendas and a pop-up. And I'm mulliganing, and the last time I played Josh, I had the same hand, and I mulliganed, and I got, I think it was 4 agendas and a Jackson. And I was like, oh. And he took advantage of that. So Josh seems to have the hoodoo there on the HB deck. Just these horror starts. But HB can dig, you know, they can dig out of it if they don't lose too many.
So this is a HB Fast Advance running Biotic Labours and Sansan, and Josh has a pretty typical Leela running its inside jobs and shutdowns. So yeah, good matchup.
Yeah, Leela's really good against HB there, and the error I made in the first game against Josh, which you know I'm hoping to learn from now, is I played too fast and activated Leela's ability too early and actually made myself very weak. So I've got to remind myself this game to slow down, place out 2 layers of ice over every server, create a lot of tax, then start scoring agendas. And so let's see if I can remember that. Okay, only 1 piece of ice in the starting hand, not a good start.
An Ash straight on the R&D, and yeah, Josh not with enough money to trash the Ash.
I'm desperately hoping to draw a piece of ice. And the deck does not provide. In a 19 ice deck, you know, I feel sometimes that I should have seen something. But instead, I have to make a remote. Yeah, so
An Eve campaign would be great. Did you find your Chrysium grid, Andrew? That would be...
I would say yes. Against Leela, Chrysium grid usually goes on HQ just because of that whole account siphon legwork threat.
But Josh with a pretty good window to check R&D with no ice and the R&D interface out.
Just popping Adonis up. Probably hoping that would just distract him. You know, he might take some time to click up credits and go trash it, but still no ice. So I'm beginning to get really nervous.
Do you just go credit, trash here?
Drawing 2 to try and draw some ice. And yeah, so my heart is breaking. There's still no ice. So I'm not panicking, but I am a little bit. This is not the start that you want against an aggressive criminal deck.
So you're going to dump these agendas here, or what click are you on? Get 1 more click.
Well, there's probably no value in cycling them back just yet into R&D while it's... Boom!
Oh,
boom!
Josh straight up to 3.
Yep, and my whole board state just
running there
went backwards. Followed up by an account cipher. That is beautiful. Oh, Josh played that perfectly. Christian grid gone. And account siphon.
Back in there.
And he's not even bothering to remove the tags.
Not trashing the Adonis.
Trash it.
Well,
there goes my account.
Still happy to get access. Yeah.
Trash Jackson and a Sansan. Now he's coming into the hand. We know it's loaded with agendas also. So could be a quick game. Not pretty when this happens.
Ooh, wow, up
Yep.
to 4.
Yep.
And no ice on the board for Andrew. You don't like being in this spot as Leela when they get their aggro combo going with the siphon, the bounce,
Yeah.
the score, and you're thinking, wow.
It was beautifully played. I mean, once he bounced Christian Grid, I knew what was coming.
Yeah, Leela does get a few of these blowouts at the start of games, but
I
yeah,
didn't
you've got
expect
some
him-
ice back on the table.
Back in the game.
You do have
Just got to
money.
dig out of a 4-0 deficit.
Yeah.
Christian Grid obviously going back against future. He did spend a lot of money getting rid of Jackson and Sansan. And it makes sense to get rid of the Sansan there. There's no point in waiting till I install it.
I think that Adonis is going to be key. You got all 9 credits off of it.
Yeah.
So despite being siphoned, you're not in a bad spot. Besides being 4-0 down. If you weren't 4-0 down, you'd almost say you like your position.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
Well,
you
I'm
were,
panicking. I actually want to score any agendas. And I can feel them clogging up my hand. And just, but I've got to lock R&T down. That's where Josh's win will come from. So hoping for ice. I know that there's Sneak or Beta in this deck as well. So I desperately need some ice. Unfortunately, Christian Grid on HQ doesn't stop that.
bringing back Ash Jackson and
Yep, so I've just undone all
Sansan.
his good work there of trashing those and putting them back in to the deck there. Yeah, I really like Ash a lot. It's probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. Those defensive upgrades are just so powerful. And Ash is probably the best out of them. I don't really get much value from red herrings, for example. Caprice is a real pain, though. Yeah, Ash is my particular personal favorite.
So Josh still no breakers. I think he has a special order maybe.
Doesn't need it any now, and as long as you run first click, you can actually click through a lot of my eyes. Well,
Yeah.
they're not anymore. I'm now going too deep, so the digging process has begun. As I
Install.
yeah, come look over here and see what I'm doing. He's ignoring that.
Dropping the sneak door and just checking out
Yeah.
the
So
hand.
there's 2 cards in hand, and one of them is a hedge fund. Now he knows the other one can't be a hedge fund because there's 2 right there in archives. So you missed the other card again. Just for sake of tension, I can tell you that the other card is a beta test. Accelerated beta test. And he has a 50% chance of having it. And missed 3 times.
I mean, come
So
Wow.
this is probably the turning point of the game.
Very dangerous there. Gender in hand and
I almost put the beta test down on the table, hoping to sneak it out, but I thought he'd go look. He surprised me by not going to look. Jackson throwing up some precious ice. And last click, we will plonk down something on that thing.
well, you've obviously got to slow that sneak door down. So what are we
Yeah,
trying? You've
wonder-
got the inside job. He's just sure gambled up.
This is the bit where he needs to keep the pressure on. Otherwise, I'm going to start to lock him out with a lot of ice, and he has no breakers or economy set up. So the game could really turn after that beautiful start. I think probably that sneaked or beta 3 times. Whilst we know there was a 50% chance, he didn't really know. So that was a lot of time to spend.
Yeah, if you had something like a Desperado out, that would have been awesome.
Desperado is huge for those sneaky little ABT firing off, and Jackson is on the table, so I'll probably fire it because I'm desperate. And that didn't go as well as I'd hoped.
Okay, but you've got Jackson there, so that's fine.
Itchy's pretty good value. And he bounces the HQ ice back. I think that was the last agenda now. I think the
So
hand
you're
is safe.
okay.
Yeah, he's going to sneak torpedo anyways. And it's always good to get a bit of information about what I'm...
This always happens. 3 6s. There you go.
So he knows I've got an Eli there now.
I've been thinking of ordering a D5 just to not have to roll 6s. Sees the Crucium
This is
grid.
the Crucium grid. Not really tempted to trash it this time. There's an Itchy. Yep, so it's gathering a lot of information about what ice I have in my hand. But the ice he should be worried about probably is those ones on R&T where the win will come from. And I'm taking the time to... maybe his last click was run archives. Just to flush out those 2 agendas that are milled off with ABT. I think there were 2 ABTs... ABTs, 2 NAPDs from memory. So I had to go ditch those. Otherwise, all of a sudden, 2 ice would bounce back into my hand. Yep, a bit of extra shuffling there. Don't want those NAPDs on the top. They're quite difficult to score at this point. I'd rather have, with a live Sansan, I'd rather have some nice, easy agendas to score. Yep, and I'm just going to choo-choo along as quickly as I can.
That's Vitruvius.
Yep.
Bouncing back. What was the ice? Do you remember? He's inside jobbing to get a few more accesses.
Probably should have rezzed that ice while I had a chance.
So
We've seen a lot of agendas. There's probably a chance that, that he wouldn't see any. We've seen a lot of early agendas in this game. So, reasonably safe. Just checking out the hand again, make sure, trying to flush something out there. But with a live Sansan, pretty unlikely that I'd be holding on to agendas now.
Yeah, Josh still with no Desperado. I think this game is completely different if Josh had Desperado at the start.
Well, yeah, he'd still be on the same amount of money for all those HQ checks.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. Really need to follow up that incredible start with some economy, some reliable, long-lasting economy there. I'm stalling twice and then using that credit to install on R&D as well, and going beauty there. So, did I pay for that? Uh-oh.
Might have missed a credit.
Yeah, I should be a credit down.
Oh well, both players missed it, so I missed it. So
and Josh even played with my money for a little bit. And
there it is. Finally, that Desperado. It must have been frustrating.
Yeah, so he's going to take a bit of free money to go check out that Adonis.
What do you do? Do you trash it or no? Wait for you to res it before you trash it.
Yes, especially with Desperado now. There's no sort of value in up front getting rid of it. And he's just going to click for some credits just to get himself back into threat range. So it's time for me to keep putting some ice down, I think, with that bouncing back happening. Finally played that hedge fund I've been sitting on for ages. Good old Lucky.
Icing on to R&D. Do you have anything in hand at the moment? Any agendas?
No. I think they've all gone now. And Josh has seen the top 2 cards, so he knows I haven't drawn any with his inside job from before. Should be down another credit. Oh my god. Getting pretty loose out there. The whole credit situation.
Happens a lot in tournaments at the end of the tournament. We've seen a lot of our finals in Brisbane get really messy at the
I'm pretty sure I'm now
tournament.
down 2 credits, so just keep a track of that just in case it affects the outcome of the game. But yeah, certainly I just picked that up now. Yeah, I was overindulging in HB's installability. It's now worth 2 credits. Unless I actually took less from the hedge fund to account for the... Alright, so that's res. So, come on over here and have a look. Probably just trying to drain 2 credits off him. Can't see any other purpose for that. And a click. Of course, I do want to steal his time away. Yep, so going too deep there. Make sure the hand is safe.
I think you might have one in hand now then.
Probably an NAPD, so I want to offer a fair bit of tax.
Special order for... What's it going to be?
It's got a ferry to deal with Itchy, so something to deal
seems
with...
reasonable.
Have something to deal with those Eli's flash wraparounds.
Well, it was really Ichi and Eli that were the MVPs in the last game, so yeah, Coretta might be all he needs.
Pop up. The money, those loose 2 credits haven't really affected resing of ice so far. So far it seems to be okay.
I'll pay a click and 3 credits.
He's going to break that and keep going.
Down to 2, so couldn't steal an NAPD. Let's see if he finds one. And Viper.
Yep. So
that will end the run.
It sure will.
Great taxing piece of ice, Viper.
Oh, I love it. Pretty much, I like every card in my HB deck.
Yeah.
I just made a deck that played all my favorite cards. I love Itchy, love Eli, love Viper, love Pop-Up. I just thought, yep, just going to put everything alike in one deck and make it work.
The good taxing ice with the fast advance cards. Yeah, you can't argue with it.
Yeah. The only real drawback is you can see that the strength of the ice is all 4. So Atman makes me cry a lot. Don't play Atman. No, I do have some 3s and 5s in there as well to try and mix it up. And of course wrap around to buy a bit of time. Okay, so don't want him going in there and winning the game. It just shows how much of a threat R&D interface really is. Just can't afford any extra accesses. And with a live Sansan, there's no real point to protect anywhere else.
I think Josh letting both of these Adonises trickle, I think that's the key to you actually getting all this rezzed. Without that money, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, over the course of the game, yes. Looking back, definitely. Some games where I've gone and trashed a lot of econ assets, so it's actually put me behind. It's always a tough call to make from the runner's point of view. Do you spend all your time and money getting rid of all that econ, or do you just keep hammering hard trying to get the early win? And Josh just had a little trouble transitioning from that awesome start into sort of a mid game where his economy was rolling and he was getting breakers out, and so I was able to dig out of that hole. And unfortunately, he's at the point now where he's clicking for credits, so I'm quite happily.
Well, he did get. What did he get? Two 50-50 accesses or 3? Getting up to 6 points.
There's me just asking if.
And
Oh, I res some cards in preparation of scoring the agenda, so that he couldn't bounce back the Christian grid or the Ash. Yeah, okay.
so that's a. Oh, okay. So what did you just score? Another Vitruvius, or?
Yep.
So you're up to 4 points each now. So now things looking a lot better for you.
Am I on 4 or 6? I don't remember. I think I've scored 2.
Okay. Yeah, keep your cards on the mats, boys, when you're on camera.
Yes, we deserve to be berated for that. So I'm on match point.
Josh has got all this stuff nicely in the middle of his mat, but Andrew, yeah, all over on the left for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just not good camera awareness, you know. It's a shame. Viper there. I'm going to create some problems. Dealing a click, which I love it when it does that. And Viper's definitely going into my Ryan Knight deck in the new landscape of HB. I think Viper deserves a place. Proof in its worth. We're only currently up to the Valley, so Breakaway Grid isn't in this tournament. But I am dreaming about those new cards. I'm actually paying to end the run there. Pumping up the Viper Trace to stop him getting into HQ.
I don't see why you wouldn't just cut off any possibility of Josh scoring now.
So he wants to come on through the front door. I tried the back door. Now the front. I'm not resing. So he gets a Desperado credit. Oh no, he doesn't. Christian Grid's up. And I would say there are no agendas there.
But there is Biotic, so you can score an NAPD out of hand now if you have 7 credits.
Oh no, you wouldn't have. Oh yeah, resume.
I've still got enough to score off Sand though, and that's the main thing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So those 2 credits didn't end up mattering at all to the end result, which is good. That's the main thing that I was worried about. So I did get a sneaky install there.
Yeah, so Andrew from the upper bracket takes out the tournament. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you saw HB there, and some incredible Leela play at the beginning.
Yeah, and we'll be back with a few more league games, I think, leading up to regionals. So yeah, stay tuned.
Surely we have to show some of these new cards that are coming out. Have a little talk about them in play.
Oh, well, that's Andrew and Alex signing off.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.